Over the past few years, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, also known as MBS, has become one of the most dangerous rulers in the world. This is because he has gained power by continuing to implement his extremely repressive policies, eliminating his political opponents, and butchering his critics both inside and outside of the ultra-conservative kingdom. So in this video we are going to take an overview of Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman aka MBS and see how dangerous he is. Now let's get into it. The de facto ruler of the country, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, appears to be further tightening his hold on authority as a result of a recent wave of arrests of those who are seen as threats to his leadership. In the most recent round of arrests, two of the most prominent royals in the nation, the former Crown Prince Mohammed bin Nayef and Prince Ahmed bin Abdulaziz, the king's sole surviving full brother, were among those taken into custody. There have been claims that the princes are suspected of plotting a coup against Saudi King Salman and the Crown Prince, who is commonly referred to as MBS. The Saudi government has not provided an official response to these reports. MBS has earned favorable coverage in international media since he outmaneuvered more senior opponents in 2017 to become Crown Prince. A variety of headlines have focused on his economic and social changes in the conservative monarchy. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia isn't going to wait for his turn on the throne to steer his kingdom on a whole new path. He's already doing it. The 32-year-old prince is distancing himself from extremist interpretations of Islam, advancing the cause of equal rights for women, and looking beyond oil as a source of revenue. But not since the time of the country's first ruler has so much power been concentrated in the hands of a single individual. This man defines himself as the leader of this country and believes that he is that leader. This is the tale of a Saudi millennial with both autocratic and progressive impulses who, even though his father is still the country's monarch, is causing shockwaves across the whole region. Mohammed bin Salman, often known as MBS, has not always been the next in line to take the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Over several decades, the monarchy has been handed down from an elderly brother to a brother who is slightly less elderly. They are all sons of the patriarch who established Saudi Arabia. But MBS is going to go against the grain of that tendency. Because of the apparent faith that his father has in him, his relationship with his father has put him in a position that has allowed him to leapfrog other members of his immediate family. This tight link between the two of them was nurtured over many years. The prince, in contrast to his brothers, received his education in Saudi Arabia. As a result of spending most of his youth by his father's side, he has a deep understanding of how the royal family operates. In 2011, just a few years after graduating from King Saud University, the prince began working for his father, who served at the time as the governor of Riyadh. His father held this position at the time. This strategy was lifted word for word from the playbook of a knowledgeable insider. In the end, his father was promoted to the position of Minister of Defense. MBS was first denied access to the ministry due to rumors that he was disruptive and had a power-hungry personality. The prince gradually won back the trust of the monarch, who subsequently sent him to the Ministry of Defense, where he sought out Western consulting firms to aid in the removal of inefficient bureaucracy. His father gave his preferred son unrivaled authority over the majority of the government once he was appointed king in 2015. Over time, the prince was eventually referred to as Mr. Everything. In Saudi Arabia, MBS has implemented several societal reforms over the past few years. These reforms include the establishment of the nation's first cinema theaters and the legalization of live music performances, both of which have been praised by many as advances toward an open society. During the same period, the number of individuals executed in the kingdom increased dramatically. Only Saudi Arabia still uses the death penalty, and that's an extremely rare occurrence even there. Saudi Arabia has consistently ranked in the top 5 countries worldwide for the number of people it has executed during the past decade. As reported by Reprieve and Amnesty International, two human rights groups, this trend has resulted in a dramatic increase in the number of persons being executed. Reprieve released data showing 133 people were executed in the 8 months after he was named Crown Prince in March 2018. Since assuming office, Mohammed bin Salman has been responsible for executing the death penalties of an average of 16 individuals every month. According to the organization, if the present rate of executions is maintained, there might be as many as 200 individuals executed in Saudi Arabia in 2018. This would be the highest annual total of executions ever recorded in Saudi Arabia. Amnesty International has also expressed its criticism of Saudi Arabia's pervasive use of the death sentence, alleging that the country utilizes the practice to stifle dissent among its Shia minority. Finally, in the summer of 2017, the monarch made him crown prince, skipping over his uncle, who was one of several older and more experienced statesmen. This made him the first in line to become king. He would identify himself as the first Saudi leader of this scale to be raised in the internet age, and as someone who grew up playing video games in addition. The former intelligence official, who now lives in exile in Canada, asserted that Prince Mohammed bin Salman, often known as MBS, boasted in 2014 that he could kill King Abdullah. When his father was still the heir to the throne, Prince Mohammed was functioning as the gatekeeper to his father's royal court. At the time, Prince Mohammed did not hold a senior job in the government. In January of 2015, King Salman succeeded to the throne following the death of his half-brother, King Abdullah, who was said to have died of natural causes. During the interview, Al Jabri provided Prince Mohammed with a warning that he had recorded a film that exposes even more royal secrets, as well as those of some United States. Scott Pelley, a correspondent for 60 Minutes, was given a brief tape that was completely silent. According to Al Jabri, the video might be made public if he is assassinated. Peter Waldman, who writes on the Middle East for Business Week, interviewed the prince. In the interview, the prince said that he compared himself to the entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley and that he plans to lead his state on a kind of visionary path. Vision 2030 is the prince's goal to restructure Saudi Arabia by weaning the kingdom off of its reliance on oil and liberalizing society. The initiative was presented in 2016. He has removed the restriction that prevented women from driving. He encouraged the development of public entertainment venues like concert halls and movie theaters, among other things. The prince also has plans to fulfill what he refers to as different dreams for a post-carbon future. A significant component of this plan is to sell shares in a state-owned oil company called Saudi Aramco, which has the potential to become the largest initial public offering in the history of the world. The response to Aramco's initial public offering has been one of them, and depending on your perspective, it may come as a bit of a surprise to you. The petroleum industry has been the primary source of revenue for the kingdom's government for many years. Earnings from almost all of its exports and well over half of its gross domestic product are derived from this sector. They brought in enormous oil revenues and spent that money to ensure their existence as a royal family by subsidizing the lifestyles of Saudi citizens to ensure that those citizens would not rebel against this extremely dictatorial family. The fall in the price of a barrel of oil from $140 to the low 30s in 2016 prompted the International Monetary Fund to predict that the government would be bankrupt by the year 2020 if it continued spending at the same rate as it does now. What has been made quite plain by this prince, who is 32 years old, is that we can no longer depend on oil to pay for our lifestyles. To function like a regular state, we need to start making personal contributions to our efforts to become more entrepreneurial so that we may attract investors and start enterprises. The Crown Prince has increased taxes, decreased freebies, and is working to ensure that Saudi citizens are financially responsible for the energy they use. In the fall of 2017, the prince carried out an extraordinary purge of the Saudi elite, arresting 4 ministers, 11 princes, and countless businesses. He is also the head of an anti-corruption commission, which he chairs. The majority of them were liberated after giving up what was allegedly unlawfully gained money from fighting his royal relations. By sending this message, he is demonstrating that he is dead serious about changing the Saudi political structure. He hasn't been able to apply it to himself, though, and I think his indulgences undercut the point he's trying to make. Even though his approach may appear unyielding, he is reshaping the Middle East in ways that no one could have foreseen. Saudi Arabia runs as a police state in every imaginable way, and this is likely to continue for the foreseeable future. What's your thoughts about MBS? Do you think he is the most dangerous man now? Leave a comment down below. If you love this video, give us a like. Thank you.